That movie sucked.
I kind of liked it.
Movie Night Crew Network.
All right. Oedipus roasts Heracles. I keep switching between Oedipus and Oedipus. I've heard it both ways.
Yeah, I've heard it both ways.
It just depends on what I feel like.
I just think it's funny because, like, if you call him Oedipus, then I just imagine people calling him Eddie. Yeah, so he roasts him and he's like, I hope it's not too confusing for you because...
Yeah, all that Heracles has to do is turn a big wheel.
Yep. God, the description of Zeus.
Don Zeus has something of a taste for women from the lower levels and enjoys toying with the offspring that results. His favorite trick is to offer them a place in the family, contingent on the completion of a suicide mission or two.
My
goodness.
My God.
That hits so hard. If you are at all familiar with the myth, you're like, yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
Like, that just makes so much sense. Yeah, what a creep.
He's such a creep. Yeah, if you don't know what this is alluding to, I'm not gonna say, but, like, you know. You better fucking know if you know mythology or anything about Zeus. God. Yeah, I mean, this is a very short one.
Right. So, Heracles has been doing these little missions for Zeus for a century, he's about to say in the next song. He is too mean, too tough, and too stupid to stop, so he just keeps going.
Yeah. So, the next song, another fucking banger.
Absolutely. Holy crap!
Favorite Son. My
yes.
God. It's so good.
This is the tune of Rocky Road to Dublin. So we're gonna talk about Heracles' labors, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't go into too much detail about all of them.
Yeah, no. We're just talking about the labors as, like, Heracles is doing a lot of shit for Zeus.
And that's the thing, it's like...
And most of them are highly violent.
That's so interesting that, like, they have, like, such a relationship with, like, Zeus and Heracles in this, because in the mythology, he's doing a bunch of stuff for, his cousin? Yeah?
Oh, huh. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and all of his labors come after him killing his family, because he has to do it in like, penance for that.
So we're switching a lot of stuff around to make this story work.
Yeah.
But it all feels, like, nicely referential anyways.
Yeah, that's, like, a thing in Greek mythology, at least. I don't know if it was a thing in ancient Greek culture, but murdering people could be absolved by, like, you go to somebody else and they would just absolve you of the murder. Sometimes you'd have to do something for them, but, like, it was a thing, especially in Greek myth. Yeah.
Okay. So we get a little spoken intro from Zeus and Heracles, and they are, Heracles is at first suspicious that Zeus wants to talk to him because he's a poor bastard, and...
I just love that roasting line, like the second line.
Yeah, Zeus says, "Come in, boy, I hear you've a right to call me father."
Yeah, me and half the city, way I hear it.
Heracles is a funny guy.
It's so true of actual mythology, like the amount of sons of Zeus.
Mm-hmm. Goodness, that dude.
Like, Heracles is, Heracles, I believe, is related to Zeus, like, 3 different ways or something.
What?
If you look at the family tree.
Oh, no! Oh, no!
Yeah, I want to, it's at least 2, if not 3 different ways, because, like, he's descendant of Perseus. Yeah. It's a whole fucking thing.
Oof.
Yeah.
It is a good thing that Rick Riordan told us that godly genetics don't count.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
Oof.
This banger of a song.
All right. So.
Oh, we also get reference to the ferryman on the Acheron.
Right. And I don't know if that is just saying Hades again, or if there's, like, someone else who works for Hades.
Yeah. I mean, the ferryman would be Charon, but, like, they don't mention by name.
Right. They just say, Heracles is describing to us that if you're poor, then you have meager years, and then you end up in the Acheron after your short mortal life. But Zeus has offered him, as long as he does a few jobs, to join the Olympians and become immortal, that he'll pay for it for him. So, what is he gonna do? He's gonna do the jobs.
Yep, he's got to, you know? Yeah, and then there's just the whole thing, so he's, like, killing a bunch of people and killing more people.
Right. Well, Zeus and Heracles have another conversation where Heracles asks if the rest of his family, his children specifically, can also become immortal, and Zeus says, no.
Nope.
It's expensive, and I don't actually care. So Heracles says, well, fine, I'll do jobs for other people. Whatever. And Zeus is like, well,
bitch.
Sorry to hear that. Let me know if you ever change your mind. So,
yep.
Yeah. And screams and spurting blood were mother's milk to me. They cradled and delighted, 'cause I'm the one he chose.
Okay, so the mother's milk thing.
Oh no! I forgot that was a real reference! Oh,
that is?
No!
That's a real reference! It's even annotated and I love it! So, at one point, Heracles was, like, actually abandoned by his parents, and Athena, like, takes him up to Olympus. This is just a very brief moment where it happens, but he is nursed by Hera, unbeknownst to her, and he noms on her boob a little too hard, and that's why he has his strength.
From Hera blood. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's necessarily blood, it's because of her milk. Drinking her milk. Yeah. That's why he has powers. It's not even because he's the son of Zeus.
Good for him, I guess. That's weird.
Yeah.
Laughing all the while is... Oh. Service with a smile, laughing all the while, murder or defile. Apparently laughing all the while is an actual line from the actual song this is based on. That's really funny.
Yeah. Yeah, so, like, he's going a little bit mad with, killing people, because that's, I mean...
And then goes extra mad.
Yeah! And it's interesting how this happens. It's a little bit different.
Yes, it is. It is very interesting. So, clearly, the framing device in this is always the conversations between Zeus and Heracles, and, all that we get is Heracles, shouting, and Zeus is like, what? What did I do? You're the one who went crazy and killed his whole family. So it was a setup of some kind. Heracles went to do a job and ended up killing and butchering his entire family, his children, who he clearly cared about, who he wanted to be immortal. Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. And this is Zeus's way to get control of Heracles again, so that he'll only do jobs for him, because he's the one who got Heracles acquitted of the murders, and that costs. So,
yep.
Heracles is now deeply, deeply in debt.
Yeah, like I said, that's, like, the whole, like, thing where you kill somebody and then you just...
Right.
You get absolved of that murder. But, like, that's all done by Hera in the myths. She makes him go crazy.
Because she's mad that Zeus is sleeping around and stuff. Right?
Yep.
That's usually what Hera's mad about.
Yeah, she's always mad about things. Yeah, like, that's literally why Heracles is called Heracles. It means the glory of Hera.
Oh, because they were like, maybe she won't be mad.
Yeah, that's not even...
And she was like, no, I'm still mad.
It's technically not his birth name. He was renamed.
Oh.
To, like, try to make her happier.
She was not happy.
No.
That sucks.
Not at all.
I can't remember what I was about to say.
He's doing his labors.
Okay, yeah, he's still violent at the end of the song in verse 3, but he's no longer happy about it. He's grieving his dead children who,
Yeah.
His butchered, bled, and carved, their little limbs asunder and strewn across the floor. And it's like...
It makes me so sad.
That's... Ugh. That hurts. That's bad.
Yeah. There's so many annotations on this that I'm like, I feel like these are a little bit of a stretch. Some of them.
Yeah. That's often how it is on Genius lyrics.
I mean, flood the fucking street. I get that one. That would make sense for like with the Augean stables.
Yeah.
That's one of the
that
trials.
totally.
That makes sense.
I'm down to call that an intentional reference. That's the kind of thing that they would do. Is be like, here's a cheeky little line. At least in this one there aren't puns.
Oh well.
Those cheeky little references. I would say that flood the fucking street is probably saying, oh yeah, remember that one time he diverted a river?
Yep. Oh my god. Yeah. This is a good song. Bangers. All around bangers.
Oh yes. Maybe we should listen to folk music more often. Specifically Irish folk music. Those guys know what is up.
Yeah.
Alright. Next we have Loose Threads.
Which is another narration song. Okay, so I feel like the name of the song is relating to, like, Penelope and how she, like, is unraveling the veil that she's making so that, like, she can last the 10 years. And so that she's like, I have to make this veil for when I have to eventually mourn Odysseus's father, I think.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. So, like, she's like, I can't see any of you suitors until I'm done with this veil, and so she's just unraveling it. So
when I first saw that track name before I like looked at where it was in the thing, I was like, is that a reference to like Ariadne and the yarn? But all of the track names of the narration ones are referencing Ulysses' story specifically. It is, okay, well, Olympians doesn't really mean anything there, but it's like, it talks about they are all named after the trials, or there is Ulysses' will, Loose Threads.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm stretching a little bit. It's really just those two, but that makes sense, right? That like they're more about the framing device than they are about like the other characters' things that they have going on.
It also makes sense because, like, they've, like, loosened some of the locks, you know?
Yeah.
In a way, in a sense, yeah. I think it makes sense.
So this one, we have mostly just the suits talking to each other again, and we are going to focus a bit more on Orpheus. So Orpheus and Heracles have a little disagreement because Heracles is like, your turn, don't screw it up this time. And Orpheus, because the two of them worked on the fleece job with Jason, and it went real bad, and Heracles' little friend, Hylas, died. The way that Johnny says it specifically, he had been very fond of Hylas.
Yeah, okay, let me talk about this. This is a thing. So, Heracles and Orpheus were, in fact, both Argonauts. That is canonical.
Okay. Good. I was hoping, but I wasn't positive.
Yeah, that is true. And Hylas was one of Heracles' boyfriends. His more famous one is actually, his nephew.
Oh, God! What is wrong with these people? Okay, continue.
Yeah. But Hylas is he went, on the Argo with him. So the thing about Heracles is, like, one of the ones who's, like, in every story of the Argonauts. But his most famous thing is that they, like, leave him behind. Because, Hylas is, like, kidnapped by a nymph. And we never see him again. Presumably, like, she just wanted to get with him, and then, like, I think he's taken into the water or something. And then Heracles is, like, so distraught, and is like, I have to, like, go look for him. So the Argonauts just leave him behind while he's looking for his lost boyfriend.
Big oof, my dude!
So this is one of those things where it's like, I feel so bad for Heracles, but also, like, with the amount of shit that he does, I also don't feel bad for him.
Okay, because I would say that Heracles is a dick, but I would never say that he, like, gets what he deserves, because nobody deserves some of the things that happen to him.
Some of the things, yeah. Oh my god, there's a fucking pun!
Wait. Tell me.
When Ariadne says bullshit?
God. Good.
Yeah.
Of course she says bullshit.
Yeah, I was actually trying to remember what the he helped me out once thing is, where Heracles is like talking to Ariadne that her dad helped him out. I was like, which one is that? It's when he steals the Cretan bull? Yes. This says Minoan bull for some reason, but it's the Cretan bull. It's the father of the Minotaur.
Oh, huh, yeah, that bull. It's a pretty good bull, huh? Everybody likes that bull.
Yeah, especially Pasiphae.
Yeah.
It's a nice white bull. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
So Ariadne tells Heracles to calm down. He's like, out of respect for your old man. So that follows.
Yeah. And then we get the Orpheus song, because of course we had to have Orpheus singing a song. Good shit.
So, I want to talk about the mechanisms for a second, because Orpheus is being played by Jessica Law, the toy soldier. And that would likely be because the toy soldier has they often describe that voice as like beautiful or ethereal, you know? Yeah, you can kind of get that vibe. Like, specifically, its voice or her voice, depending on if you were talking about the mechanism or the person.
Yeah.
So, this is one of the things where it's like, is this queer or is it not? It can kind of go either way.
Yes. The answer is yes. If you think it's queer, the answer is yes.
Jessica Law, I believe, is a woman. The toy soldier goes by its pronouns. It has no gender. Orpheus is a male character referred to with he, him pronouns. And so you could consider Orpheus a trans man if you wanted to, or you could say that these shows that the mechanisms put on are sort of cabaret. Like, drag is not out of the question. You know what I mean? Like, they have that vibe. And so it really depends on your own interpretation. You could say, I think that Orpheus in this album is trans, or you could say, no, I don't really think so. I think that's just who he's being played by, and the voice doesn't matter what it sounds like. So that's I just think that kind of thing is interesting. But yeah, they will often play with the genders of characters and kind of go whatever way they want to.
You know what? It's like Schrodinger's gay. It's like, is it gay or is it not gay? It's both.
It's queer however you look at it, really. Like,
yeah, honestly.
I don't know that I could define it, but the vibes are queer.
Always.
But yeah, they will change the genders of certain characters, or they will have the characters played by people of different genders, or yeah.
Yeah.
It's all over the place, and I love that about it. Anyways, Orpheus is singing his beautiful song about how bad it is in the city.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It sucks.
So yeah, this is basically his backstory. He's talking about, like, trying to get by however he can, and how he ends up breaking the law and ends up, like, in the seedier parts of the city's culture, or he doesn't fit in with these other suits whatsoever. He's not a violent person. He's not a manipulative person. He just needs the money from this job for reasons.
Yeah. I also just love the reference to, like, I mean, the town that blah blah blah. The first one doesn't fit, but the second and third time that he says that, it's this Python town, this Viper town, and those are in reference to, like, Eurydice, who was killed by a snake.
Oh.
She was bitten by a snake. Or Orpheus's love.
That's rough.
That's rough, buddy.
This is another kind of meta look at, like, it's a very sociological look, because Orpheus is blaming the city itself for the death of his love. Yeah. I never should have placed my trust in the city. The Python town that crushed my bones. The Viper town. Or the Vulture town that picked me clean is the other one that we can't really fit in, but...
Like, I mean, It doesn't fit in with Orpheus. I guess you could, if you're reaching, it could be a reference to Prometheus. Because it's a vulture, or no, it's an eagle. Never mind. I don't know why there would be a vulture.
Who knows?
Oh well. Yeah, it's sad. Orpheus is sad. Everyone is sad. It's the mechanisms.
Orpheus kind of seems to be, like, specifically shading Heracles during this song, which is funny because he's canonically singing the song to the vault during the thing. So, you know, I'm not a fighting man. I never act on wrath's command, but I know you do. I'm not like you. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I get it. God, poor guy. The next song, because I think we should move on. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
we've been doing this for a long time. And we're only halfway through. So I don't know how long this episode's gonna be. We might end up having to cut it.
We'll figure it out.
But, you know, maybe we'll be faster in the latter half. We'll see.
Alright, so the next song is another narration. It's called Hades.
Yes. Orpheus, as the lock clicks open, says, "I can finally pay Hades." And both Heracles and Ulysses notice that specifically because they have also had interactions with Hades.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's clear that Orpheus wants to bring someone back from the Acheron. His fiancée has died, just another life chewed up by the city. And he would like to have her rebodied, is the word used, even though those that are come back wrong. So that's unsettling. I don't even want to think about that. But, like, again, you can pay for anything in the city. You can get your love's brain out of the half-conscious hell of running the city, but you gotta pay for it. So, Orpheus has already spoken to Hades, but he did not have the money, so now he's on this job. And then we get... So during this narration, all the narrations will have, like, music underneath them. This one, every time that the mechanisms show up themselves in one of the stories in the album, they play that little do 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 do. That was not a good rendition of that, but there's this little ditty that, like, represents them as a band, which I love. So Johnny tells us what they've been up to in the city. They've been in the city for a long time, having their own brand of fun. Johnny tells us that he was on one of the lower levels depopulating it. Bro, you can't just go murder poor people. Go do a murder spree on the Olympians. What the fuck? I thought you were an ally. Johnny DeVille is a class traitor.
How dare.
I cannot. Dr. Marius von Raum was psychoanalyzing the Olympians. The toy soldier was busy being a nymph, whatever that means. It's made out of wood, so it totally follows for me.
Yeah. And then we already mentioned the whole thing about Ashes.
Is currently acting as Hades.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Ashes decided to take control of the Acheron and make the ferrymen dance to a different tune. So I don't know if ferrymen are, like, employees, if they are an automated system, if they are... But apparently that's something.
Yeah, that is something. And then I like the reference here at the end where it's like these three characters specifically, Ulysses, Heracles, and Orpheus, went and talked to Hades because but all three of them canonically went to the underworld.
I didn't know that. That's exciting.
Yeah. There's a specific term for it. It's called catabasis. You know what? I can't pronounce Greek. I'm sorry, Grace.
Catabasis sounds good enough to me.
Yeah, it's like the specific term for descent into the underworld. It's a thing.
Very cool.
That people do. Yeah. And all three of those characters did that canonically. It makes sense because Oedipus and Ariadne did not do that.
Yeah. Perfect. I love it when things actually line up well.
And then we get another song.
Yes, we do.
Another
so
good
what
song.
Is so cool about Underworld Blues is that little ditty that the mechanisms do kind of transitions into this more bluesy sound. Apparently that tune itself is Last Kind Words Blues by Gishi Wiley.
All right.
So, Last Kind Words Blues is now Underworld Blues. And all of our three characters are going to make their catabasis.
Yes.
And petition Hades for some assistance. So Ulysses is first, and Ulysses asks Hades to bury their memories of the war. They don't want to deal with the grief and the trauma any longer.
Yeah, just the war crimes. I'm done with the war crimes.
Yeah, what if I didn't do that? But I still did that, but what if I didn't have to think about it all the time? I got traumatized by killing everyone in a town.
Some
so
PTSD.
I think you should help me out.
It's fine. It's fine.
I sympathize with Ulysses. I just think it's a little funny. But
yeah.
Saddled grief to my core. I see the annotation. I'm going to guess they're just going to say that that's a saddle reference.
Yeah,
horses.
yeah. They're like horses again. God,
they're right. They're right.
They're right, but also it's like, guys.
Was it worth an annotation? Yes, it was. I wouldn't have noticed otherwise, but I did notice as soon as I realized it was annotated.
Oh my god.
All right, but Hades tells Ulysses that their mind is too entrenched in the horror. They can't separate it out. And so what Hades says to Ulysses specifically is that the only peace that you will find is in the refuge you yourself designed. That will make sense at the end of the
Yes,
story.
it will. Yeah.
But yeah, there's no further explanation yet.
Mm-hmm. And then the
Heracles
Heracles
is next.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Heracles is here for Hades' dog.
I want to steal your doggo.
It's supposed to be his last task, but
yeah.
he knows that that's not normally how it goes for him. There's more they'll
Canonically,
ask. So
that is Heracles' last labor is capturing Cerberus, and that's the thing. Like, this is all like Hades is like, I'm gonna help you, and like literally that's how it goes. Is like Hades like, yeah, sure, just bring him back when you're done. Like, take my dog for a minute. Like, just don't be a dick about it. Hades is like not a bad guy in mythology, okay?
No. Hades, out of all of them, Hades is doing his best.
Yeah.
So this Hades tells Heracles that they'll set him free if he performs something for them, a little job from a friend, and bonus, that job will pay off Heracles' debt completely. It's like the amount of money we're talking about here is insane.
Yeah. Good shit.
Orpheus is next.
Mm-hmm.
And Orpheus, the whole music slows down so that Orpheus can play his little tune and be like, please. And Hades is like, you got the cash?
Yeah. That's the whole thing. So, like, I love how the music slows down because, like, that's literally, like, what happens when Orpheus goes to the underworlds. He, like, he plays this nice song and Persephone is like, oh, of course we'll help you. Like, you play so beautifully. Like, that's, like, the whole thing. And, of course, Orpheus, wants Eurydice. I think I totally missed, like, a line, like, earlier somewhere where there was something about looking back. But it's gonna come back.
Oh, that'll be I think that's next.
I think it already happened at least once, but it's gonna come back. The whole, like, looking back thing.
There was a little reference to it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, so
they all gotta do a job.
Yeah, since Orpheus can't afford to get Eurydice out, Hades is like, well, since you don't got the cash, I have a job that you might be interested in that should pay what you need and more. And then the last part of the song is the three of them singing together, agreeing to Hades' terms. Yeah, they're all, like, singing together, and then they all get their own line about how they'll do whatever it is. Ulysses specifically is, I'll find the vault, presumably talking about the Penelope vault that we are at currently. So,
yep,
that's a little connection that we didn't necessarily have before.
Yeah. And then we go to the last trial.
Trial by love.
Yep, narration. Oh boy.
All right.
Oh boy, Ariadne.
So Johnny, kind of sums up that, yeah, Hades had a hand in everyone being here today, both for personal amusement and as a favor to someone. We're not going to say who just yet. Next, we're going to do the trial by love, the last lock on the door. And who better for it than Ariadne? As soon as they said this, when we were listening, you were like, ooh.
Yeah. Ariadne. Poor girl.
Yeah, oof.
No, don't like it. Very, very upset by this. I mean, she doesn't love him. I'm glad that they're like, nah. But
yeah.
Famed for her love of Theseus. God, I hate Theseus so much. He's such a dick.
Are you talking about real Theseus or just Hades Theseus, who...
Both?
God, I get
Yes.
so sick of him.
All of Theseus? Theseus is just
All
terrible.
Theseuses.
Theseus is always sucks. I just have thoughts about him in general. Yeah. But he's not important at the moment. It's just, yeah.
So a little chamber opens up, and Oedipus analyzes the thing, and he reports that someone has to prove a love stronger than life by sacrificing themselves. Whoever does the trial of love, they just die. And they have to do it without fear or hesitation. And everybody's like, oh, Ariadne's like, I'm not doing that. Oedipus is like, I'm sure your fee will be paid to Theseus, whom you love so unreservedly.
Yeah, but
yeah, about that.
But she don't love him.
Yeah. So Ariadne has been playing a jilted lover. She never cared that much for Theseus, but she thought it would be good PR, and then it all backfired on her very badly. She gave Theseus... Okay.
This is a whole thing. This is some
there's
lore.
A lot going on here. All right, we got a Minotaur. They just call it the Minotaur. It is a hulking metal beast that goes around. It stalks the city and plucks the still living brains from its victims for the Acheron. So presumably they made it to go out and get the brains off of corpses and put them in the Acheron.
Makes sense.
But it did not work very good, and the thing was like, oh, brains? Got it. I'll get those.
Not great.
So that did not work out very well, and Ariadne was like, okay, Theseus, you want to stop this thing, I'll give you the deactivation codes, the strings of code.
Yeah, I love that, the strings.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And she's hoping that she and Theseus will have this nice little pair-off. She'll be seen as having righted her parents' wrongs, and her family's public image will be fixed. But Theseus leaves her in the dust. He doesn't give her any credit whatsoever, and very publicly jilts her. So she is trying to rebuild her family's legacy.
So she can't just die right now.
Yeah, no, she's got shit going on.
Yeah, goodness.
The next song is called Ties That Bind, and that's Ariadne's backstory song.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
She's singing to her mother and her father about how bad they did.
They made the Minotaur. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Shall I talk about the Minotaur?
All right, let the people know about the Minotaur.
I've already talked about it on this podcast before, but I love talking about the Minotaur's birth. Not necessarily birth.
Conception? Is that the word you're looking for?
Conception. I was like, what's the word?
Are you talking about how that lady fucked that bull?
Pasiphae was a furry.
She didn't want to be, okay? Aphrodite got a chill.
Yeah, Aphrodite got a chill.
We cannot be doing this. It's messed up.
I mean, okay, it was Poseidon.
Oh, okay.
Technically. I mean, because of the whole, they didn't want to sacrifice the bull.
Right.
So...
I just blame Aphrodite anytime something like this happens.
It probably was Aphrodite who cursed her, but, like...
Likely.
Poseidon was the one who was hurt.
Likely, yeah, Poseidon called in a favor, but...
Yeah. Yeah, so Pasiphae was made to love, this bull because...
Well, she was made to want that bull's hot dick. I was gonna say hot bod, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, I just thought about, like, Poseidon's probably like, if you love this bull so badly, how about your wife can fuck it now?
Yeah. God. Yeah. You didn't want to kill the bull? What if the bull fucked your wife? I can't.
Yeah, so that's how they made the Minotaur. They engineered the beast. Because I love it. She makes that furry suit. She makes a furry suit! And then fucks it!
I also like how the last line of verse 1, she says that she's their one true child.
She's not, though. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just saying, Ariadne's like, I'm not related to that thing. But presumably she's an only child in this universe.
In this, yeah, probably. But, like, she had other siblings, specifically Phaedra. Poor girl. I told you about her yesterday on a different podcast. Oh, boy.
This poor family.
Oh, boy. Yeah. They want to get a better social standing.
The tune here is apparently Blue and Green by Miles Davis.
Huh. I just noticed a line here. It's not annotated, but it should be.
You could annotate it. I think you have to have an account, but...
Probably. Like, the dark-horned shadow over my life. Dark-horned because it's a minotaur, it's a bull, it has horns. Just saying. I don't think that one is a stretch, like some of the other ones have been. I keep trying to think about, like, what the ties that bind could be referencing.
I think it's... I don't know how exactly it fits in. Like, obviously it's talking about yarn or thread or whatever, but...
Yeah, it's I mean, if you want to be like, it could be like the thread and then somehow relating that to, like, the thread of fate or something.
Well, she says in verse 3, in dishonor I am tied. And so the ties that bind might be the ties to this broken legacy.
Yeah. I don't know.
The shadow of the Minotaur, yeah.
Yeah. And the strings of code thing, I still love that. It's the strings of code that she gave to him. And you know what the string was called, right? It was called a clue.
What?
She gave him a clue.
Oh my god, are you serious?
Yeah. Like, that's not how it's spelled, but, like, that's how it's pronounced, so it's a pun!
Oh my goodness.
It's a pun!
Oofa. But yeah, Ariadne complains that she has to work with these lowlifes just to eat. She doesn't think she belongs in this crew either. Yeah, all of the suits are hugely contemptuous of all of the others. Like, Oedipus is like, ugh, I have to work with these idiots. And Ariadne thinks they're all lowlifes. And Orpheus thinks that they're all violent, law-breaking, manipulative, bad people. Heracles thinks that they're all... Heracles is contemptuous in his own special way.
Yeah, he just sucks.
He's just a dick. He's just really unhappy. But yeah, he hates all these people. Yeah, all of them hate each other so bad.
Yeah. And then the whole fact that Theseus just, like, takes credit for it and then leaves her, you know, that's in reference to the fact that, like, he did that in the myths. Like,
yeah, what a dick.
They were in love, quote unquote, defeated the Minotaur, ran away, and then he left her on an island. In some versions, she's killed, by somebody. It varies, I think. But I like the version where Dionysus finds her, personally.
That's probably someone who is like, if she dies, that makes me feel sad. I'm gonna write a fix it fic where Dionysus picks her up.
Personally, I like those two. I ship them. They're good.
Yeah. That's nice. It's very nice. I like it when they reference it in the video game Hades.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dionysus does not like Theseus in Hades. All right. The next track is another narration track called Daedala.
Daedala.
Daedala. I I don't like that vowel. I don't like how those vowels go after each other.
I don't like, just call it something else. I don't know why it's called, like, I know why it's called that, but I also don't. Like, just say Daedalus enters or something. Like,
that's a spoiler.
the name is already a spoiler. Why?
Well,
it's named after Daedalus.
Not if you're me and you don't have any idea what that means. I mean, clearly, once you do know, you're like, oh, okay, Daedalus. But, so, spoilers, Daedalus is here.
This narration.
Yeah, it starts heating up in here, guys. It starts really heating up, because no one wants to die very much.
Well, who would?
So, Daedalus, the fifth suit, finally emerges.
5 suits?
And he's the one who hired the rest of these folks to get into that vault. So what Johnny says about Daedalus is that he trades as an Olympian under the name Hephaestus. I would pronounce it Hephaestus, but I don't actually know what's correct.
I always say Hephaestus for some Percy Jackson reasons.
Yeah, I would assume... I think Hephaestus is, like, the common pronunciation. I don't know. Johnny just says Hephaestus very specifically.
And it makes sense, like, the whole Hephaestus, Daedalus.
Okay. Do they have any connection, like, in the mythology, or is it just that
I don't know if they actually
vibes?
interact. I think it's just the vibes, honestly. Let me double check that.
It works for me still.
Nope. I don't think that they have any connection. Okay. But, yeah. Both builders.
The line here is that Daedalus had his own son killed for getting too ambitious. I love that. That's so funny. It's so good.
In reference to, obviously, Icarus, who flew too close to the sun.
Which is always thought of as, like, being too prideful or reaching too close to the gods. So, yeah, getting too ambitious.
Yeah. Personally, I like the interpretation better that Icarus, like, was in love with Apollo. Crack ship, Apollo and Icarus.
It's not even a crack ship. We are all down for that.
And then we have this plot twist.
Yeah, Daedalus is the original designer of both the Acheron and the city itself, back when it was still known by its true name, Labyrinth. Everyone is trapped in the Labyrinth. This is the Labyrinth. We are all in it. We are in it. We are trapped. That's why there was a Minotaur running around in the streets. Like, yes! It's so good!
It's good! We did it! We did it! Oh, yeah. Also, there was the whole thing about, in the previous verse, the Hades was, like, pitting Zeus and Poseidon against each other. I just think that's an interesting thing, because, hey, that's what people think is the plot, in The Lightning Thief at first, but it's not correct.
Yeah. I would have to, like, look further into, like, the album, like, go back and see, like, where Zeus and Poseidon, like, do stuff. To see, well, because Zeus shows up more often than Poseidon, but
yeah, we don't technically hear Poseidon. I mean,
yeah, but I feel like his name does come up a lot. But yeah, I would like to look further into the machinations, but I believe him.
It is interesting because we have like a son of Zeus on this. I was about to say quest. It's not really a quest. On this job. Mm-hmm. And then we have someone who's pissed off Poseidon on this job.
Yes.
So there's some interesting connections there.
So, the line here is that Daedalus wants whatever is in the vault because if it can break the Acheron and challenge the Olympians, then it belongs with Daedalus. Not that he wants to stop it from being used or he wants to use it. It's just he wants to have that control, that power, which, I don't know. I feel like that's interesting.
Oof.
God. So Daedalus tells them that they have to open this last lock, and Orpheus says, okay, I'll do it as long as you get Eurydice out. But, so, about that, Orpheus is not very good at, so you go inside the chamber, and then there's a whirring noise that happens, and then you just have to stand there and not move at all as this whirring gets louder and louder, and Orpheus flinches. Of course he does. Flinches.
And he looks back!
Looks back. And it doesn't work.
And that's the whole thing. Because when Hades is like, yeah, I'll give you your wife back. I'll let you take her back from the underworld in the stories. Just, you can't look back at her. You have to lead her out of the underworld, but she's gonna be behind you the whole time, but you can't look back at her. And what does Orpheus do? He looks back right as they're about to be out of there. It's like a second too soon, man.
That sort of thing. There's a biblical story that I cannot actually remember. I just know that some people are leaving a city and a guy isn't supposed to look back and he does, and his wife turns into a pillar of salt or something.
Okay, I was like, wait, what is this? Oh, okay. I recall this vaguely. Isn't that like Sodom and Gomorrah or something? I feel like
I have no idea.
I think that's what it is.
I pick up vague the vibes.
I went to Catholic
and
school.
Then I don't remember any details.
I went to a Catholic high school, but they didn't teach me shit.
I'm so sorry. All right.
We just talked about God and God being good a lot.
All right. I would like to talk about the mechanics of what's about to happen, because Daedalus is like, all right, if we can't get anybody to stand there and take it, then we're going to tie somebody up and put them in there, because all that it is a motion sensor. Okay. They also say that there is a retinal scanner so that they can't use Ulysses, which means that the person could not be knocked out because it has to scan their retina. So, if the person cannot be knocked out, how do you tie up someone so firmly that they cannot struggle whatsoever? If Orpheus flinching makes it so it doesn't work, what?
Realistically, you also can't choose Oedipus because he doesn't have eyes.
Yeah. Presumably, if the retinal scanner is doing something, I don't know. This machine, I have some questions.
I have a lot of questions. Also, this is just terrifying. Truly terrifying.
Yeah, so Daedalus says, yeah, the rest of you will get a 33% increase in fee as long as somebody is tied up and we can open the door. I leave the choice up to you. The next song is called Torn Suits.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. There is no narration at the beginning of this. It's just everyone saying their piece. So I can visualize it, though. I can see them all, having drawn on each other, standing at a complete standoff or advancing on each other. And, yeah. Yeah,
they're just saying, their, lines, over each other at the same time.
Yeah.
And then we get the narration at the end.
I feel like the mixing on the track is a little messy, but... This is an indie band.
Wow, criticism!
It's hard to do a lot of layers, okay? It's very hard. All right. So yeah, everyone is talking about their reasons and their ambitions, and singing, callback lines to their own songs. Mm-hmm. Oedipus is saying, I will escape this city, leave its rotten edifice behind. Heracles is saying, I'll buy myself redemption, my family to avenge. Ariadne is saying, my family will rise again. And Orpheus is saying, I'll buy my true love back.
Yeah, and then what Ulysses says.
All right, Daedalus, you want to know what's in the vault? I'll show you. And and now we get the narration. Ulysses throws the diamond, the faceted diamond, in the air, the eye of the Cyclops, pulls out their snub-nosed laser, haha, Chekhov, and fires the last shot, splitting the beam along 12 axes.
Goodness! It's
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep reading this. Daedalus gets one in the shoulder, one in the leg. So, Daedalus has some kind of disability that... Is that a reference to something? That sounds like a reference. I feel like he has a...
Okay, so that's a reference to Hephaestus, actually.
Oh! There we go. That's what I was thinking of. Well, that makes...
So,
yeah.
Hephaestus, canonically, at least sometimes, has a clubbed foot, I believe. Mm-hmm. Sometimes using a cane, or sometimes even a wheelchair of sorts.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It would be cool if everyone wasn't a dick to him about it.
Yeah, there's different versions of it. Either he was born with it, or when he's thrown off of Olympus after he's born ugly.
Yeah, what the fuck?
He gets that. Yeah, well... I have some thoughts about that.
So that's what I was thinking of, was Hephaestus, which makes sense because they've already drawn that connection.
Yeah.
Oedipus gets 2 lasers, one in each eye. Never saw it coming.
Hey!
Heracles gets the lion's share. 1, 2, 3.
Hey! The lion? Like the Nemean lion that he killed?
Wow!
Hey!
Orpheus has one slitting his pretty little throat.
Okay, I want to know if the annotation says this.
Yeah, because I was like, I thought that was just...
Yeah. Okay, I was like, it is, they do say that, like, it's the reference that I'm thinking of. So, yeah, there are different versions of Orpheus's death. I believe, yeah, he's killed by the Maenads, Dionysus' followers. They rip him to pieces.
Oh, huh.
Yeah, it's pretty big in Orphism, which is like another Greek religion, all based around Orpheus.
Oh boy.
But yeah, then his disembodied head. I've heard that like his disembodied head is then sometimes taken by the muses and still sings. So that's why his throat is slit specifically.
Okay, because his head was cut off. Okay, I can see it. I wasn't sure, but I'm like, okay.
Yeah. It's a whole big thing. And then Ariadne gets one in the heart, because, like, oof!
Yeah.
Theseus.
That
shot through the heart!
That's just unfair.
And you're to blame. Theseus gives love a bad name. Anyway.
And Ulysses is also hit by 3 shots.
Oh no! Hey, I wonder if he's gonna die at dawn.
Well, the next track called Sunrise,
yeah.
It is over. So, the suits are dead or dying. Daedalus is alive, but he can't move to stop Ulysses.
Yeah.
Ulysses themselves I had to fix the pronoun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to fix the pronoun in the middle of my sentence because I was gonna say he, and then I got tripped up. Anyways, Ulysses themselves is close to dying. They are limping. They go over to the door of the vault and they type in the code, which is Elysium.
As in, like, the place where you go when you die, but you die good. It's like, it's Greek heaven, kind of, but not. Good shit.
Yeah. So Greek underworld, as I understand it, is the fields of asphodel for everybody normal, Elysium for everyone who is very, very good. You have to, like, do so much to get up in there.
Yeah, you have to be a hero.
Yeah.
Heroes are always terrible people, though. So you don't have to be that good of a person.
Yeah, you have to have great renown, probably. That makes sense, right? Anyways. Or you can be tortured for sucking so bad.
So that's the funny thing, relating it to Percy Jackson. So technically the third place is just Tartarus, but Percy Jackson is like, oh, there's also the Fields of Punishment. But, like, it's actually just the pit is for the bad people. There isn't another spot.
Okay. So that's what I was wondering, if it was Tartarus or not. But when you're in Tartarus, you do get your ironic punishments, like your boulder rolling and whatnot.
Yeah.
Correct? Or, okay, yes.
Yeah, that's where, Sisyphus and, like, Tantalus. Sometimes they have ones that make sense, sometimes they don't. It's fine.
All right. So what is in the vault is a tree in a sunlit golden field. There's no weapon. It was young, idealistic Ulysses' idea of what could start a revolution, of what could change this city for the better.
Yeah.
Ulysses thought it would be a symbol of hope. It's the last bit of the natural world. So Ulysses limps into the passage and heads over to the tree, which is where Penelope is buried. She is the first to die a true death once again. This is the escape from the Acheron. This is the way to escape eternal torment, is to see, instead of eternal joy and happiness in a place beyond imagining, the good thing that can happen to you here is just to regularly die.
Yep. Just to not be, like, used, your brain be used and tortured forever. Good shit.
Ulysses no longer cares about revolution. They just want to rest. Oh god. Okay, let me read, like, ugh. And as the weary hound, once more at its master's feet after so long, lays down with the sunlight warming its fur, breathing its last, even so did the eyes of Ulysses close forever. Like, holy shit. That fucks me up.
So you know what that's referencing?
I don't. I see that it's annotated. I was just like, damn,
Okay,
that's poetic.
okay. So the hound. So did you know that Odysseus had a dog?
I didn't.
He had a dog.
Oh no.
So if you've heard of that website, the Dog Dies website, I feel like the Odyssey would be on there is not safe.
Oh no!
Because what happens is Odysseus comes home and the dog like comes to greet him, is like, "Oh yay, you're back," and then immediately dies. This dog has been around for 20 years, okay? It deserved to like die, but it stayed around waiting for its master to come back.
What the annotator said is that it's because Ulysses can't greet his dog without revealing his identity. Like like the dog is about to reveal him, and he's in disguise, and so he has to ignore the dog, who immediately dies.
I forgot that part. I forgot that. I just knew that the dog was like, "Oh, master back," and then died.
I'm going to cry.
I hate this. I hate it so much. Let's go to the next one.
Yeah.
And my theories on this fucking tree.
All right. So the last song, track 20, is Elysian Fields. The tune is I Am a Poor Wayfaring Stranger. It's a song about finding peace in a desperate world.
Yeah.
Thank you, Genius Lyrics, genius.com, for all of your assistance. All right, this is the sole surviving oak tree where Ulysses lays himself down next by the grave of his wife. What's up with the tree?
Okay, so there's a few different things. So I think it's interesting what's annotated here. It is referencing something in the Odyssey. Technically the tree in the Odyssey is specifically an olive tree, but
okay.
So like there's like a whole weird way that Odysseus reveals himself to Penelope, because he's in disguise for so long when he comes back home, and then finally they're like alone, and he's like, so he's like trying to tell Penelope, "Hey, it's me, it's me." She's like, "I don't know if I believe you," and then they talk about their bed that he made for them.
Okay.
And one of its legs is an olive tree.
Okay.
So, and that's why the bed, is it that it can't be, like, turned over or moved or something?
Oh, I remember that, because you can't move the bed because the tree is still in the ground.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's, like, a whole thing. I just think that's, like, so weird. It's just such a little detail. But also, it very specifically says here that it's an olive tree, and this very specifically is an oak tree.
Well, that might just be because it fit with the cadence of the song. But
it could, but also...
all right, tell me about oak trees.
All right, oak trees. I do find it funny that you're like, "Oh, what did you got? You guys had, like, nothing to say about oak trees before." Ha! I did research last night because I was like, I want to know what this fucking oak tree means. Alright, so oak trees are sacred to Zeus, king of the gods.
Okay.
And specifically, at Zeus's oracle in Dodona, there is a sacred oak tree that's, like, in the middle of it. And that's where priests would divine pronouncements of the gods by interpreting the rustles of the oak's leaves.
Oh,
Very
that's
cool.
Nice.
So there's like another thing here with Odysseus and Dodona.
Okay.
So he actually, during the Odyssey, he went to Dodona and he visited it, and that's where he was like, gonna ask the oracle if I should go home disguised or not. And that was like a whole thing.
Okay, so Odysseus does go somewhere where an oak tree is there, and it is plot relevant.
It is, in fact,
and it tells him
relevant thing.
The future. Okay.
Yeah.
What I like about it being, about this tree also being the bed tree, is, like, Odysseus laying down to rest, like, with his wife. Finally.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. Like this isn't even like the Mechanisms album that hits me the hardest. It's probably like my least favorite one for like the characters or whatever. But like just that concept.
Yeah.
Of him laying down under the last oak tree in the world to rest with his wife.
Yeah.
So Odysseus or Ulysses, sorry, they are singing this last song, and they're telling us that they wanted to share this solace with everyone. They wanted everyone to be able to die and to rest, but it never really worked out.
Yeah, it didn't.
The labyrinth spawned, they could not bear it. They shall not reap what I have sown. And dawn fills Ulysses' heart with light, and they lay down beside their wife. And the sunrise breaks through the night, and Ulysses dies at dawn! Yay!
Whoa! Wow, that's like the name of the album.
Oh god, the end. Elysian fields where I can die. Elysian fields where I can. And then the instruments do that last note, that doom for die. Because they died. Anyways,
they died.
That hits. That's good.
Yeah. So the Mechanisms shit is kind of depressing.
Yeah, it is.
Didn't you say that this is like one of the happier endings of all of them?
Yeah. Well, Ulysses is happy with the ending. A lot of the time we do look at a society on a macro level, and on the macro level, this society is unchanged by this story. Ulysses themself has escaped, but the rest of the city, the status quo of capitalist hellscape, is maintained. So
yeah,
things do go worse in a lot of the other ones.
Just a little bit.
Well, yeah. I would definitely recommend I'm trying to think of High Noon over Camelot.
God.
The end of that one fucks me up. No,
if y'all want us to cover that on like maybe a Patreon bonus episode in the future,
like, if anyone cares about this, I'm 100% down. Like,
it's not related.
We're going to do the Bifrost incident like years from now, whenever we get through some books.
Yeah, when we get to some
like
Norse
a
shit,
lot
maybe.
Of years from now, because it is going to be God. I can't even imagine getting to Magnus Chase. My goodness, that is so far away.
But yeah, it's just something that I also like. You love the Mechanisms, you love that album, and I have a thing for Arthurian shit, like a lot. Like, you don't know how much time I spent on Wikipedia things being like, okay, so like, how would I do the timeline if I were to create a show that was based on Arthurian shit? I had just watched Merlin, and I was just like, so how would I write Merlin, but like how I want it to be?
Right, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that, like, that's also an interest of yours. Yeah. No, we don't even need anyone to tell us to do that. Put it on the bonus episode list. That one could be for us.
We need to do that. It's a hyperfixation for both of us. Oh, good shit. Okay.
We'll have to be faster on that one than this one was, though. We did get through the second half a lot quicker, so yeah, good. We didn't have to do any more of the setup stuff.
It's fine. We can trim some things down. It'll be great. Okay, let's just get to the plugs. I already know what your plug is gonna be.
Yeah, I bet you do.
What is your piece of media that you were plugging, my dear Ray?
Okay. Well, first things first, listen to the Mechanisms. Second things second.
That's just a general plug for this episode.
Yeah. There's this podcast. The Magnus Archives is a horror anthology series. If you like creepypasta, or if you like eldritch horror specifically, like kind of Lovecraftian, but if the politics weren't terrible, yeah. Sorry, I wrote I wrote a pitch. If you like creepypasta, if you like eldritch horror, or if you like queer romance at such a slow burn that for a while you can't even tell there is a romantic subplot. Or if you like listening to an unhinged little man become progressively more unhinged, all the while trying desperately to convince everyone around him that he is in fact very hinged, thank you very much, until he finally gives up and goes apeshit.
That is beautiful.
Those are the things you can look forward to.
I love that.
A fun fact, Jonathan Sims is the Mechanisms character Johnny DeVille. He also is the narrator of the Magnus Archives, which he writes. Also, the narrator is named Jonathan Sims. Anyways, I'm only roasting him because I think it's very funny. Do not let that stop you. Please listen to this podcast. It's so fucking good.
They're very passionate.
It's exactly the kind of horror that I really, really like. I'm very passionate. I'm too passionate. It's embarrassing, but I'm beyond caring. But yeah, it's the kind of horror that I really, really enjoy, where, like, I can't watch horror movies. I can't stand them. I get so stressed. I get so freaked out. I can't look at gore. I can't look at blood. I could never watch a Saw movie specifically because I can't do torture. Any kind of slow, like, if someone is being slowly crushed, that is the worst possible thing for me. I cannot.
Yeah, no, I understand that. So this is not my plug, but one of my favorite, like, Marvel heroes is the Punisher, and, like, in one of the earlier episodes of the show, somebody was, like, nearly being crushed in, like, this thing that it was crushing rocks, and then, like, they were, like, at the bottom of it. No, it was cement. I think it was cement or something. God. Either way, like, that kind of thing, like, fucks me up a little bit. I don't like it. I don't like those kinds of things. No.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, so the Magnus Archive stories are the kind of horror that I really can get into, apparently, because I remember, like, every single episode, and there's a lot of them. It's very grounded by the characters who tell the stories. Like, they are very much like people who have lives and jobs, but the things that happen to them are very abstract and conceptual. There's one episode about a lady whose son really likes skydiving, and then one day when he goes skydiving, there is suddenly no ground anymore, and he falls and falls and falls, and he can only see the endless sky, and then finally the ground comes back, and they're like, you were up there for like 20 minutes, how? I don't understand what happened. And he's like, I thought it was days. And so then he quits skydiving, and he goes home to his mother, and then they go out for a picnic, and they're walking up a hill, and then the sky eats him. And that's the story, that's it.
What the hell?
And yeah, and then you think about that forever. Like, that's the kind of, I don't know, it's just, like, weird, but it sticks with you. It's like, interesting horror. I don't know, I like it a lot.
Oh my god. Like, it doesn't scare me in the way that normal things can scare me, but, like, god, that's just, don't like it.
Anyways, I talked about that long enough. You guys should listen to the Magnus Archives. It's very slow burn, like, if you're looking for, like, a meta plot, but if stories like that, if that sort of thing sounds interesting, I would definitely say give it a listen. It's so good. It's so good! I love listening to Johnny Sims talk so much.
I mean, I also love listening to that voice. That good voice. What a good voice.
I'm gonna cut most of that out. That was a lot. All right, Charlie, what are you plugging today?
So I'm plugging Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney.
Good! I love Ace Attorney!
So my other friend, Ray, who we talked about Hades on a Patreon bonus episode. It's Ace Attorney is, like, their thing a lot. They love Ace Attorney, and finally convinced me and my friend Kyla to, like, get the original trilogy on Switch. And so I played all of it in like maybe a month, maybe a little over a month, but yeah. So then I played Apollo Justice. I'm just gonna slowly play all of this, like, because I'm loving it a lot, and it's so good.
I'm, like, obsessed, but also I've only ever finished the first game. It's because I was playing them with my mom, and we don't live together anymore, and so, like, it was really funny, because for Christmas, I got the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. And so, since I was over there visiting, we just played, like, the first 2 cases. The 2 of us. We just really, like, that's our thing a little bit. So, like, I need to just do it by myself, but also I have a lot of other things to, like, read and stuff.
You need to do it.
Yeah, I need to finish the first trilogy, at least.
I think I already told you, but, like, the third one.
Okay, good.
The third one.
Because, the cases in the second one I was not as into as I was in the first one, but, like, you know, that's kind of to be expected.
There's some things about the second one I don't love, but I love Pearl. Pearl is wonderful. Yes. And the third game gives some backstory.
Good.
I love Mia. Like, I love Mia.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I know a lot of vague things because I've done a lot of, like, looking through the fandom and stuff. I read a lot of fanfiction too.
Bad.
I think lawyers should kiss each other. But...
They should. You're correct. They should. I love that lawyer, prosecutor, attorney, prosecutor, love. Yes. Anyway, in this house, we stand Rightworth. Yeah, I'm trying to sell to you the third one. I love Mia, and I love seeing Mia. And
you don't even really need to sell it. Like, I'm gonna do it. I just keep putting it off. Like,
but
yeah.
Apollo Justice was interesting. It was so weird to be, like, playing as a different person, and he has, like, different lawyer abilities.
Lawyer abilities?
Yeah, like
I use my special move.
I mean, Phoenix has his lawyer powers,
he gets, like,
with
a weird magic thing, and
the Magatama. That's what it is. Yes, he has his, like, Cyclops ability, and, like, Apollo, he has this ability where he can notice, like, a little, like, spot on somebody that's, like, moving a little different when they're saying things. Like, it's weird.
Oh, so, like, lie detecting kind of thing?
Kind of, yeah. Like, okay. Yeah, he's a lie detector. It's weird and it's cool. Also, there are some feelings that I have about the fact that 2 characters apparently never find out that they're related. I have feelings.
Yeah, I did run into that in the fan fictions because people were like, "Well, we need to fix this."
God, I hate it. I'm so upset. It's like they are siblings. Anyway, I love it. It's good shit. But you know why I love the third one? It's because I'm literally gonna cosplay as Phoenix in that sweater that he wears in the third game. So
I'm so excited.
I'm excited because I have to style a wig. So that spiky hair, man.
All right, let's close this bad boy up. My legs are falling asleep.
Yeah.
I was hoping we could get it down to, like, 2 hours and 30 minutes, but it did not
We'll see.
Stop.
We might.
We just kept going.
We might be able to.
Okay, yeah,
it's fine.
It will, like, once we edit it, but...
Oh god, I need an outro. I keep thinking that I want to redo the outro, but I guess I'll just do the basic one for now.
Okay. I can't remember my line.
You don't have a line. You're fine.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah. Okay, now Ray, get out of my cabin and stop telling me these scary stories.
You can follow the podcast socials at Of the Eldest Gods Pod on Instagram and at Of the Eldest Gods on Twitter. You can send an iris message to us through oftheeldestgodspod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us financially, go to patreon.com/oftheeldestgods. By becoming a patron, you can join the Movie Night Crew Network server, where you get to chat with us and hear some no-context spoilers about episodes we are recording. I personally recommend the $5 tier, where you get access to Against All Odds, our bonus show where we talk about basically anything vaguely related to mythology, Percy Jackson, or whatever we like. We also have a merch store on TeePublic, where all our designs are made by Charlie. Or if you cannot support us financially, please give us a review on iTunes and rate us on Spotify to help others know how much you love this podcast. You can follow me, Ray, at HeyHeyRay on Twitter. I also have another podcast called Barbie Movie Slap, where my co-host Ted and I talk about the Barbie cinematic universe. You can check out that podcast Twitter at Barbie Slaps.
You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms, but on Twitter, I'm at GreenPixie123, which I'm totally not salty about. I also have an art Instagram that I sometimes use at GreenPixieDraws. I sometimes do the YouTube thing on my channel, Charlie Mack, that's MACK, and I also have another podcast on the network called Fandoms Gone Wrong, where my mom and I talk about movies, TV shows, books, whatever other fandoms we enjoy. You can find that on all the major podcasting apps. Our music was written by Isabel Strauss-Riggs and recorded and edited by Ian M. Riggs. You can find Izzy at Kane_I, that's I as in the body part, on Instagram and Twitter. She also currently makes video essays on the YouTube channel Kane I. Feel free to message her about making music for your project or editing your podcast. Of the Eldest Gods is proud to be part of the Movie Night Crew Network, which features great podcasts like Fandom's Gone Wrong, a fandom-filled show co-hosted by yours truly. Hello, you awesome nerds out there. Yes, you. Have I got the podcast for you?
We've got pop culture, swearing, and all the immature jokes you could ask for.
We'll take you on a journey through TV shows, movies, books, and maybe a video game someday.
And we'll tell you how they all went wrong.
I'm Charlie.
And I'm Carrie.
And this is Fandom's Gone Wrong.
New episodes every other Wednesday wherever you get your podcasts.
Of the Eldest Gods is based on the series by Rick Riordan. Right now we are discussing Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Remember to follow us on your favorite podcatcher and meet us back here every Thursday. At least in this one, there aren't puns.
Oh well.
We're never gonna do it because we're not gonna cover any Arthurian myths. So I'll just tell you that in
I wish we could.
God, I wish we could because High Noon Over Camelot is my absolute favorite Mechanisms album. But the characters in that one is so good. The character arcs specifically. Anyways, Arthur has a 10 caliber pistol that he got off someone in the flooded sector. 10 as in the Roman numeral X, as in... Yeah. Like, and that's just one line about his 10 caliber pistol. Like, yeah.
That movie sucked. I kind of liked it.
Movie Night Crew Network.